My dear Libra, let's have an honest conversation about your weaknesses. Not to shame you, not to put you in a box, but because self-awareness is one of the most powerful tools you'll ever hold. Every sign carries a shadow side. Yours just happens to be particularly well-dressed and surprisingly difficult to pin down. The things that make you charming and thoughtful are often the same things that trip you up. So let's look at them honestly, one by one. The first weakness we need to talk about is your indecisiveness. And yes, Libra, we're starting here. You knew we would. Libra is ruled by Venus and carries the cardinal air modality, which means you're built to initiate, but through thought, comparison, and weighing every angle. That's a gift. But it also means you can stand at a crossroads longer than anyone else alive. You don't just consider both sides. You consider the sides of the sides. You imagine every possible outcome, then second-guess the outcomes. A simple dinner decision can become a 20-minute negotiation between your own competing preferences. And when the stakes are actually high, a job offer, a relationship, a move, you can freeze entirely. People around you often feel the cost of this. They grow frustrated waiting. They sometimes make the decision for you, which secretly relieves you, even though you resent that it does. Here is the shift. Set a hard decision timer. When a choice is in front of you, give yourself a defined window, 3 minutes for small decisions, 24 hours for medium ones, and a firm deadline for large ones. Write the deadline down. When time is up, you choose with whatever information you have. No extensions. The second weakness is people-pleasing, and it runs deeper than most people realize. Libra is a sign fundamentally oriented toward others. Harmony, partnership, and fairness are core to how you process the world. That's not a flaw in isolation. But it tips into a weakness when your desire to be liked starts overriding your honesty. You soften things you shouldn't soften. You agree with opinions you privately disagree with. You smile through situations that are genuinely bothering you because confrontation feels like failure. The real-life version of this looks like saying yes to a commitment you didn't want, then quietly resenting the person who asked. Or nodding along in a meeting while thinking the opposite, and then venting to someone else later. You're not dishonest by nature, but your relationship with conflict avoidance makes you act dishonestly sometimes. And the people closest to you eventually notice that your yes doesn't always mean yes. This is what you can do. Practice a 2-sentence honest response before you default to agreement. Something like, I need to think about that, or that's not quite how I see it, actually. Write those phrases on a sticky note if you need to. Use them once this week. Just once. It gets easier. The third weakness is vanity, and not just the physical kind. Yes, Libra's Venus rulership carries a well-documented relationship with appearance, beauty, and aesthetics. You probably care how you look. But the vanity that actually limits you runs deeper than a mirror. It's a preoccupation with how you're perceived. You edit yourself constantly. You manage impressions. You worry, perhaps more than any other sign, whether people think well of you. This means you sometimes make choices based on image rather than integrity. You stay in relationships that look good from the outside long after they've stopped feeling good on the inside. You take on roles or projects that signal status rather than meaning. You avoid saying things that might make you seem unsophisticated or difficult or less than. The gap between who you are and who you're performing can become exhausting over time. Here is the shift. Once a week, do one thing with no audience in mind. Take a class you're bad at. Say something unpopular in a low-stakes conversation. Wear something you like but wouldn't post. Small acts of private authenticity recalibrate your relationship with perception faster than any internal pep talk. The fourth weakness is avoidance of conflict, and this one is different from people-pleasing, even though they travel together. People-pleasing is about managing how others feel. Conflict avoidance is about managing your own discomfort. Libra holds the symbol of the scales: balance, equilibrium, fairness. Disrupting that balance feels physically uncomfortable for you. When tension rises in a room, you want to smooth it out immediately. When someone is upset with you, the feeling is almost unbearable, even when you're objectively in the right. So you do something quietly destructive. You let things slide. A boundary gets crossed. You don't say anything. A resentment builds. You rationalize it away. A relationship dynamic becomes unacceptable, but the conversation required to fix it feels worse than the problem itself. So you wait, and wait, until you eventually explode or disappear or both. People are often blindsided by this, because you gave no visible signs of dissatisfaction until it was too late. This is how you can counter that pattern. Address small friction within 48 hours. Not the next month, not when you've perfectly formulated your thoughts. Within 2 days. It doesn't have to be eloquent. Hey, that thing last Tuesday bothered me is enough. Small and timely beats polished and delayed every single time. The fifth weakness is dependency, specifically emotional and relational dependency. Libra is the sign of partnership. More than any other sign, you are oriented toward the we. That orientation is genuinely beautiful, but it can quietly hollow out your sense of individual self. You may find that your mood is disproportionately tied to the state of your closest relationship. When it's good, you're great. When it's rocky, you can barely function. You lose access to your own opinions in close partnership, absorbing the other person's preferences, habits, and worldview until you're not quite sure what you actually want anymore. You might jump from one relationship to another, not out of shallowness, but because being alone feels genuinely threatening to your sense of identity. The question, who am I without this person, is one you may actively avoid asking. And because you're charming and socially skilled, you rarely have to sit with the discomfort long enough to answer it. Here is the shift. Schedule one recurring solo activity that belongs only to you. Not something you do with a partner or a friend group. A solo walk, a solo creative practice, a solo meal at a restaurant you chose alone. Do it regularly. Make it non-negotiable. The goal is not to become isolated. It's to build a relationship with yourself that doesn't require another person to validate it. So there they are, Libra. 5 shadows, 5 specific patterns, 5 concrete things you can start doing differently. Indecisiveness, people-pleasing, vanity and impression management, conflict avoidance, and relational dependency. None of these make you broken. None of them make you less of the thoughtful, fair-minded, genuinely caring person you are. But they do make you less free, and you deserve more freedom than you're currently giving yourself. Here is what I want to leave you with. The same trait that becomes a weakness under pressure is usually a strength when it's conscious. Your ability to see all sides becomes genuine wisdom when you learn to decide anyway. Your care for others becomes real generosity when it doesn't cost you your honesty. Your love of beauty becomes an actual gift when you stop performing it. You are one of the most naturally gifted people in any room, Libra. The work is just learning to get out of your own way. Which of these 5 landed hardest for you? Was it the indecision? The people-pleasing? The conflict avoidance? Drop it in the comments. I genuinely want to know. And if this felt like a conversation worth having, subscribe to the channel. More honest conversations like this one are waiting for you here. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Have a blessed day.